Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE Royal Rumble 2018 review, and I have to say this much. Overall, this pay-per-view was outstanding. The only complaints I really have is the Women's Royal Rumble match, but it wasn't really the match being horrible, it was just the fact that the match was slow, and it was a little bit stale and boring. Outside of a few entrances here and there from the Women's Royal Rumble match, it was subpar, I would say. But the winner did come out on top. The right person won. It was Asuka. Now, I actually, in my predictions video, was right about every one of them. Brock Lesnar retained his WWE Universal Championship by pinning Kane with an F5. Was right about that. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would lose to AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. I was correct about that. I was hoping and praying Shinsuke Nakamura would walk away as the Royal Rumble winner, but thought it was a long shot because of John Cena and Roman Reigns. Well, holy fucking shit. Vince McMahon actually woke up from his coma and decided it was time to give the right person the Royal Rumble win and give us a dream match at WrestleMania. We got that. So I was right about that too. The two tag team title matches, Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan lost their tag team titles, as I stated they would have, to The Bar with Sheamus and Seth Rollins. I was actually... So really, in all honesty, Jason Jordan did something I said he was going to do. Cost them the tag team titles. He kind of did. He tagged himself in, then tagged himself back out because he felt like he was unconscious. So he didn't feel like he could compete throughout the match. Didn't seem to really care as he was sitting on the steel steps. The Usos retained their tag team titles in the 2 out of 3 falls match with getting back-to-back wins and walking away still the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So, at the end of the day, guys, every match I predicted, I was correct. So, let's get into all this. AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn for the WWE Championship with it being a handicap match. How did I feel about this match? This match was average. It was a little bit above average, I would say. It was about a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Pretty much everything to be expected in this match. There was a little bit of a bad call made at the end of the championship match. It looked like Sami Zayn was trying to tag Kevin Owens' in, but unfortunately that did not happen. But the referee believed that there was a tag, so he was considered to be the legal man. Kevin Owens comes in at the end, tries to super kick. He kicks AJ in the stomach, throws him to the ropes, tries to do his pop-up powerbomb, and ends up being countered in a roll-up pinfall and gets the victory over Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and walks away still the WWE champion. So, that in itself was pretty nice. Then we had the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line. This was a 3 out of 5 stars. It was average. It was a decent match. Nothing too exciting or anything different that we haven't seen on SmackDown between these two tag teams with Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus the Usos. So it was an okay match. Decent, viewable, something worth watching. If you wanted to rewatch the Royal Rumble again, I wouldn't recommend watching it unless you have a lot of time on your hands and you can sit through the entire 4 hours. But that would be a match I would skip just to save time. Both tag team title matches, to be quite frank with you, are worth skipping if you were to rewatch the event again. The Royal Rumble match for the men was superb. It was the best match on the entire card. Probably the best Royal Rumble in years. to be quite frank with you. Whole lot of good competitors, performers in this match. Couple of decent NXT actually top-notch NXT stars that are main eventers right now in NXT. We had Adam Cole. We had Alamis, the NXT World Champion, Hispanic performer in NXT, who had an outstanding match with Johnny Gargano, which, by the way, he had a hell of a fucking weekend, may I add. He performed in the Royal Rumble match for about 29 plus minutes and was eliminating a few people. I think he got about 4 or 5, maybe 6 competitors in that match out of the ring. So he had a decent performance in that match despite the fact that he lost. Adam Cole, not so much, but him being in the match itself was pretty cool seeing him there. I think he got like 2 or 3 guys eliminated out of the Royal Rumble match. We had some funny moments here and there. Off the top of my head, I can't remember every little thing that happened in the Royal Rumble because there was a lot of things that happened, and I honestly think this match should have been the main event. The women's Royal Rumble match should have been where the men's Royal Rumble match was on the card, but I guess because it was a first time ever Royal Rumble match for the women, they felt there was a need to do that. Me personally, I don't think so. But regardless, it's not here or there. Point being, this match was outstanding. One of which I want to mention how Kofi Kingston once again figures out a way to entertain us without getting eliminated the first time out. He ends up being thrown out by Jinder Mahal, and one of his feet hit the ground, but Xavier Woods is still on the ground. And his foot hits Xavier Woods in the chest, and Xavier Woods is like, nope, you're not going out. You're staying on my chest. We're going to get you out of this situation. So Big E is still outside the ring too because he was eliminated by Jinder Mahal as well. So he goes ahead and takes a plate of pancakes for Kofi Kingston to put his foot on to rest so he doesn't have to walk one-footed the entire time to get back into the ring. So he's got his foot on top of a fucking gosh darn plate of pancakes. From there, Jinder Mahal won't let him back in. At that point, they had Big E and Xavier Woods help him get back into the ring by shooting him into the ring, and he lands right over Jinder Mahal. And eventually Jinder Mahal, he gets eliminated by Kofi Kingston, but Kofi Kingston, right after that elimination, gets eliminated his own self. Who eliminated him, I forgot, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But this match was awesome. John Cena and Roman Reigns looked like they were going to basically, in a team effort, trying to be the last 2 men standing for this matchup before they have to eliminate each other. Eventually that all broke down, thankfully. Finn Balor actually should be the Iron Man of this Royal Rumble match. He lasted from as number 2 entrant, and he lasted all the way up to the very end as the final 4. Very impressive by Finn Balor. I was impressed with him. I thought maybe he should have been the winner of the Royal Rumble match besides Shinsuke Nakamura, but the final 4 was Roman Reigns, John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Finn Balor. So those final 4 entrants were okay in my opinion. I just think that the whole giving the audience the thought, well, maybe it was a good idea because Vince was trying to scare people to think, oh my god, one of these 2 assholes are going to win again. So they went ahead and they went in a different route. They shocked the hell out of us. They changed their idea of who should be the winner, and they gave it to Shinsuke Nakamura. And Shinsuke Nakamura got the opportunity to eliminate the 2 top names in WWE right now. John Cena being the past of being a Roman Reigns character, and now Roman Reigns being the top dog in WWE as like John Cena was. got eliminated by Shinsuke Nakamura, a legend in New Japan Wrestling. I honestly believe if they have a Hall of Fame for New Japan wrestlers, Shinsuke Nakamura would definitely be one of those people. Uh, so with him challenging or being the winner of the Royal Rumble match, he was asked, "So who are you planning on facing at WrestleMania for which world title?" And he said, "I want to face AJ Styles." The freaking whole audience erupted. Not one moment has the audience really felt like they were being cheated out of this event. Philadelphia was very happy with this whole event. They were very much into it, very loud, just like they were in the NXT Takeover last night. Very impressed with WWE these last two nights. I'm very happy what route they went on with the Royal Rumble match. I'm very happy with the decisions they made for who wins, who loses. I think Braun Strowman should have won. I think Braun Strowman should be facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the championship, and Braun Strowman being the champion going in. And those two should be the main event because 2017, those two guys were the rivalry of the year, personally, in my opinion. And I think they should have closed out the season of WWE at WrestleMania 34 facing each other one last time. But hey, it is what it is. We're going to see Brock versus Roman Reigns eventually. They're just going to put the puzzle together at Elimination Chamber, and that's going to close everything out for everybody to find out who's facing Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, which is very easy, not hard to figure out. John Cena, he's a little bit kind of floating around in limbo here. I'm not sure where they're going with John Cena for a WrestleMania opponent. But it should be interesting. Hopefully, maybe it's the Undertaker versus John Cena, where Undertaker's statement that he made at the Manhattan Center, he's going to pretty much put John Cena to rest finally, and make his past opponents that he's beaten to rest, because he actually did face John Cena before, but not at WrestleMania. He faced him at a Vengeance pay-per-view back in 2003, and he defeated him. So that they might bring something up like that on in the upcoming weeks or next 2 months before WrestleMania 34. So that should be quite interesting where they're going with John Cena for his WrestleMania main event match at WrestleMania. Trying to think what other thing. And by the way, this match, I'd give this a 5 out of 5 stars. That it was that good. I would definitely rewatch it in your free time. I'm definitely going to rewatch this entire event. This was a decent event, well worth everybody's time. Definitely rewatchable, in my personal opinion. So getting into the Raw Tag Team Title match, nothing much to say about this. There was nothing really surprising. Jason Jordan trying to help out his partner gets his head smacked into the post outside the ring, and he basically suffered a concussion. I would say this is a work. This isn't for real. Like, he didn't get a real concussion, and it's to set Jason Jordan up to pretend like he actually had a concussion, and later on you're gonna find out he didn't. Is really what you're gonna see in this whole build towards what they did. But reality, I don't see that we're gonna be getting anything that's totally to the surprise to our eyes or anything what Jason Jordan's doing right now. He's plain as day. He's gonna be a heel, and that's all there is to it. Let me think here. What other things to mention? So yeah, I wasn't too surprised by this match. This match, I give it like a 3 out of 5 stars. It was okay, but nothing, super fantastic. Made anything stand out in my eye, but it was okay. Like I said, the tag team title matches, if you rewatch it, you can definitely skip. It's not worth sitting through unless you care about watching these stars in those matches for that event. I mean, I like the Usos, I like Seth Rollins, but in all honesty, with 4 hours, you're going to rewatch those two matches. They're not really worth the time. They were average. They were good to fill in time and whatnot, but they weren't it's not something you're going to need to have to watch over again and get any kind of major excitement out of outside of seeing a storyline progress or whatnot. The Universal Championship. Um, this match was okay too. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars simply because of the fact that these guys really tore into each other, mainly Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. Once again, this really should have been a Braun Strowman winning and walking away Universal Champion. He was a fucking beast in this match. He kicked both of their asses. He threw Brock Lesnar over the top rope like he was a sack of potatoes, and yet he doesn't get a championship run. I don't get this whatsoever. I don't understand what WWE is trying to do here with Braun Strowman, but they hype him up very well and then they push him back. Now, I mean, granted, with him not being pinned this time around in comparison to No Mercy, it still doesn't help him in any way, but it doesn't totally kill his momentum. So I don't know what to believe at this point with them, with Braun Strowman. He's a great asset to the company. He's a good character. I think he's going to go places in his career. But for right now, for whatever reason, they're not pulling the trigger of Braun Strowman, and they should, because he is well worth a guy to take that risk with and take that, experiment with him and see how he does with a championship run. I don't see why he would fail. They've built him up good enough where the fans will stay behind him. He is like a Daniel Bryan. He's like The Rock in a way. Not in that kind of sense, like super loud, crazy, fans are all over him type of thing, but they're into him. They have some kind of attraction or attention towards who he is. And when his music hits, people react. They respond to his entrance and they enjoy his in ring work. Despite the fact he's not the greatest wrestler in the world, he's just a powerhouse maneuver type of guy. He is a guy that will get a reaction out of the crowd, and a positive one, whether you make him a good guy or a bad guy. It don't matter. But right now I don't know what their problem is with pulling the trigger on this, but it really at this point I think it's just because of Roman Reigns, and they want Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar too, so they can have a conclusion between those two, because at WrestleMania 31 they didn't, because of Seth Rollins cashing in. So that's really all I can come out of this with. But I hope eventually, within 2018, we see not Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman as the new WWE Universal Champion, and actually have a championship run at some point. I think Roman Reigns should lose the title to Braun Strowman. That should be the next person. If anyone beats Roman Reigns for the Universal title, that should be Braun Strowman. There shouldn't be anybody else that should take the title from him, because he's the only guy they've made as competitive with Roman Reigns than anyone else is Braun Strowman. So that's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think about my opinion on that, and I'll get back to you on that. Last thing, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because it wasn't super crazy. It was historical. I'm going to give it that. I'm not going to be a total dick about this, but it was slow. It wasn't like the Men's Royal Rumble. It didn't have that expectation of level of excitement. It did have the element of what it needed. It was historical. The women were doing a decent job doing the Royal Rumble match itself. I think I did mention, 3.5 out of 5 stars for the Universal Championship. I did say that earlier. I'm sorry. But this match here with the Women's Royal Rumble, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't nothing bad. It wasn't a horrible main event. It just wasn't the same excitement that you got out of the Men's Royal Rumble. And my God, Stephanie McMahon, please don't ever do announcing again. You absolutely suck. You sound like you could be on one of those TV shows for, The Price is Right or something. I mean, you sound totally horrible. You should be on a fucking game. You should be a game show host, not a freaking announcer, for God's sakes. You sound like shit. Um, but quite frankly, with you guys, I wasn't. I'm not downing this or anything. I'm glad Asuka won. It was the right person to win. If they thought of anyone else winning the Royal Rumble for the women's division, they're crazy. Asuka is the best performer. She's the most legitimate character on the program that looks like a badass and looks like she literally can kick the shit out of any woman on the show. And she wins the Royal Rumble. I'm not going to go into major detail. Trish Stratus made an appearance. Lita, Mickie James, Tori Wilson, Michelle McCool, a lot of good names that have been in the past of WWE's history showed up tonight at this Royal Rumble event. So, quite frankly, with you guys, it was decent. I thought Trish Stratus was going to be the last person in the Royal Rumble match with Asuka, and Asuka would just defeat her and walk away the winner. That wasn't the case. She had to face the Bella Twins, which I thought was fucking unreal. How one of them got eliminated, Nikki Bella turned on Brie Bella. Nothing unusual. Don't believe me? Watch SummerSlam 2014. And at that point, Asuka walks away winning the match on the side of the apron. She kicks not Brie Bella, Nikki Bella in the shin, trips her up, and she falls off the apron, and Asuka wins. But what was confusing at the end of the show was they were about to get the announcement from Asuka who she wanted to face. Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship or Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Well, before she could even make an announcement on who she wanted to face, they had both champions in the ring. They were both posting their titles up in the air in front of Asuka, and we were about to get an announcement on who she wanted, and then all of a sudden, Ronda Rousey comes out. Now, I've heard rumors about it. I even looked up one of which Ronda Rousey was interviewed by a TMZ reporter and was asked, "Are you going to be showing up at the WWE Royal Rumble match?" She goes, "No, actually, I'm going off to film a movie in another place the same day, and on top of it, I'm going to be doing this all the way up till February, so I'm not going to even be able to make it to the WrestleMania pay-per-view." So that in itself was kind of a shocker. I think she was just telling a bogus lie so she could surprise people. But the way they did it was awkward. This is an awkward situation what they got going on here. Ronda Rousey's acting like she's going to go to WrestleMania to do what? Compete against who? I'm completely confused. So this should be quite entertaining on seeing how they're going to go about making sense out of all this with Ronda Rousey. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what they're planning on trying to do with her. But I hope it makes some kind of sense to the WWE audience to put her into a WrestleMania match. I'm assuming she's gonna face Asuka, but Asuka has got a Royal Rumble WrestleMania match against one of the two champions that she chooses. Personally, they could possibly just jumpstart that match in the February or March pay-per-view for Asuka, and then Asuka challenges Ronda Rousey and defends her title against Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. That's the only thing I can think of. Outside of that, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know how they're going to make sense of it. So that's just my personal opinion. You guys let me know what you think about the Ronda Rousey situation, what they should do or what they might be doing at this point to make sense of all of this. But anyway, guys, as I already stated, leave your comments and opinions overall about the pay-per-view and what you thought about my video. Also, hit the like button if you liked the vid, and on top of it, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have a great night.